Create a virtual conference. HLS, show me how. Hi, my name is Mike Giannotti, and I'm a Microsoft Teams technology specialist for Microsoft's Healthcare and Life Sciences group. You can always find myself as well as all of my colleagues at our blog at aka.ms/HLS blog. That's aka.ms/HLS blog. So we're going to be taking a look today at this idea of a virtual conference. This came about because I've had a couple of customers of mine who were having some issues where they had internal events. These are large, global, multinational, but they could be much smaller, something with even just a few sites within a given geo. But in this case, these were some large multinational organizations in the healthcare and life sciences space. And they had, as a part of their organizational rhythm, an annual conference, an internal one, but a very large one that could potentially have thousands of people, various speakers, keynotes. They have sponsors that get there, and they have sponsor halls, just like you'd expect to see at a public conference, like when you go to something like the SharePoint conference or Microsoft's Build or Ignite or other large external events. They approached me and they said, look, how can we do this in a virtual manner that will give users a feeling of being connected, some of the look and feel, of a actual conference where they come in and they come into this big, meeting hall, the big, entrance type of a place, and then go from there to a large keynote where there may be thousands of attendees sitting there and watching people up on the stage as well as monitors, where then they break out from that and go to breakout talks, or maybe go to certain rooms where they're facilitating conversations around given topics, and even go to a sponsors hall where then they can enter into those sponsor booths and speak with sponsors, access materials and information all about them, and have it be immersive. So we're going to take a look at how all that can be done with Microsoft 365. The beauty of it is, if you have 365, I'm just going to show you what you already own. It's just a matter of configuration, and it's not that difficult. So let's go ahead and take a look at how we can put on a virtual conference. All right, so here you can see we have our Global Research Summit conference, and it's being housed in SharePoint Online. SharePoint provides that great landing spot where we can assemble views of various things. So here you can see we have a banner, right, with a ticker. We've got to enter the Research Summit main hall. We have news around that, summit tip sheets, find photos, talk submissions, and there's even calendaring below. All the things that you might expect to do for a research summit like this, or this event or conference. We also have here at the top some navigation. I have event halls where I can go directly to given pieces like the main hall, breakout talks, ask the experts, a sponsor showcase. But the idea here is to provide an immersive experience where people enter and move from space to space just like they would. And to do that, we're actually using something called SharePoint Spaces. Now, later in this video, I'm going to show you how you can go ahead and create spaces, how you turn it on and enable it to be able to do that. But let's take a quick walkthrough around some of the features to get a feel for it. So the first thing we're going to do is select Enter the Research Summit Main Hall. And this is going to bring us into a three-dimensional experience. And here you can see I can grab with my mouse and start tooling around. I have Ask the Experts. I have a link to take us into the keynote, and we'll take a look at that in a moment. To take a look at breakout talks, sponsor showcase. We're going to look at all those in a moment, but the very first thing is a video saying, welcome to the Global Research Summit. So if I click this, it's going to begin playing me. I just did a little quick short demo video. Welcome to the Global Research Summit. My name is Michael Giannotti, and as you can tell with me in my Hawaiian shirt, this is just a demo. So there I'm doing this demo video, and I'm up on a podium. It's the idea of greeting people as they come in. Now, you'll see as we create this, I could have made this more attractive and done other things, but it gives us a very rich environment right off the bat to start greeting our users. But the first thing that typically happens at a conference is a keynote. And there may be a series of keynotes. Here I've just set up one, and you'll see this image, this three-dimensional looking image, that when I select it and click it, it's going to ask me, the link will open in a new tab. And in fact, what it's going to open is a Yammer live event. So Yammer live events allow us to have thousands of attendees that can view the video simultaneously. They can come in here, they can ask questions, they can give replies. My internet is a little slow today, so we'll just quick refresh. Come here, chug-a-lug. And it's going to allow us to have, again, this video where they can have conversations and other things. We're not going to sit and wait for all that to render again because it's going to take us some time. I'm going to close that. But it opened up real simply in another window. We also have here this idea of Ask the Expert. So if I select that, it's bringing me into another SharePoint space, right? And here I have one Ask the Experts breakout where people can take a look and talk to people around research vaccine talk. If I come on back, we're going to navigate around where I have some other options. So I have Summit Breakout Talks. Typically when you finish a keynote, you might go to breakouts. And so if we go there, we're going to want to see the different breakout talks that are available. And I have here, this one I added a navigational element, it's just a picture with a return to main hall. But I also have here some images that link me into breakout talks where I go from thousands of attendees to a few hundred in a given room. And we're accommodating those by using, I'm going to select, let's do research in the age of COVID, and we're going to click that. It says this will open in a new tab, proceed. Now I'm going hands-free. I'm not moving my mouse. I'm not touching my keyboard. It's actually going to launch in a new tab directly to a Microsoft Teams meeting instance. And in fact, if I click that, I'm going to turn that off and select Join Now. It's going to bring me into here where I can have up to 250 attendees, record the session so it's available after the fact, but have a fully interactive Microsoft Teams meeting to facilitate that breakout talk. Now, I could have done this in Yammer live events. I could have done it in Teams live events. I could have done it in Stream live events. But for these quick ones, it was easy to set up a calendar entry, and we'll see that to be able to accommodate that. I can go ahead then and we'll leave that meeting. I'm going to close that. And let's go on back to our main hall. So we've looked at all those. The other element we talked about was this idea of a sponsor showcase. So if I select that, it's going to take me into a new space. And in this space, you can see here I have, again, return to main hall. I only have 2 sponsors showing, but I could have many. I could have 10, 20, 30, 100, whatever the case might be. But what this is going to do, because sponsors typically have a whole lot going on, a booth with 1 or more people that you can talk to. They're going to have materials they hand out and other things. When I click this, it's going to load me to a space set up directly for this sponsor. And here within there, you can see there's that return to main hall, but something a little different. This is not an image. If I click that, it's actually a PowerPoint, right? I have a single slide here, but I could break it out, open a new tab, and it would open up and show me the full PowerPoint that I could click through. I'm going to go ahead and click off, and you'll see it returns on back there. I'm going to come back to this in just a moment. I do have a sponsor breakout room, and I could have had 1 or more. The idea being that I want to link in a new tab. This again is a Teams meeting. So this was a meeting that was set as an all day, could have been a multi-day. So that when I come in here, I can actually talk to and interact with folks who are manning this area from that sponsor, and even interact with other attendees who are also asking questions. So there can be an ongoing dialogue, even presentations and things going on within this Teams meeting where we can get very deep with that sponsor and connect with them. Finally, I also have this other element that I've created here. This is, whoops, let's come on back. This is a document library. Now notice if I click on a given document, here we go. I can see it, I can pop it out if I want, I can close it. Here we have a PowerPoint, here I have a PDF, right? But there are a number of documents that are here, and if I start to scroll, notice new documents are now showing up. So again, I can click those and open those further if desired. So I have a whole library of documents exposed that people can navigate through, peruse, open them up, download them, take them with them if the need arises and they want. And finally, again, I have that navigation so that I can always come back here to the beginning. I even put in the back, I'm not going to show it because I don't know what the licensing would be, but I have video and stuff in the back for an attendee party where I set up an attendee party in Yammer so people can talk and you know, say, hey, how cool this is. And I have a band that's going to be playing live. I took a video of theirs and embedded it in. But that way you can even simulate a live event, right? The attendee party or a parties, and have some entertainment going on and people chatting and spinning up conversations around stuff they've seen. And it's a beautiful thing. So you can see here, it's a very immersive environment. I could have done the same using SharePoint, just pages, but I chose not to. So how did we build this? That's what we're going to take a look at in just a moment. All right, so I'm using Microsoft PowerPoint recording feature to actually build this. So I thought I'd break it up. I have 2 slides set up. It'll all create one single video when I'm done. But we want to take a look at now how we built our virtual conference environment. And it's very simple. To start off with, let me just click on back here. You know, this site where we've got a counter and all these neat little things, I actually cheated. I started out here at lookbook.microsoft.com, a great resource to help you get started for all kinds of sites. In fact, if we click see examples, you can see it's organized by organizations, departments, teams, community, and solutions. And in each one, we have different kind of site templates with pre-populated web parts and content that we can take as a starting point to then customize, right? So look, I love this quote. What 3 years ago took months of coding is now available out of the box with SharePoint. I think that's amazing. I do too. So that's why I used it. I actually went into here in the department, and again, there's all kinds of ones. This is pretty cool. Event focused, highly visual. I don't know why I didn't choose that. I probably should have. It's a cool one. I chose this one, branded news, resources, and events, because I did like a lot of the content it had. And if you click into here, you'll see it tells you the different site features, the web parts that are used, content that's included, gives any requirements, and then a global admin, tenant admin for your org can go ahead and deploy this solution to your tenant. And you can see this is that site that I was using, right? We had the top piece here, the news that I changed out to make my own, these components that we looked at, and the event calendar. There's all kinds of goodies here, right, that allow us to get started very quickly. So I instantiated that to our site. Once we did, though, the next step was to go ahead and to start not only to customize it, but to start to build those spaces. So to do that, we're actually just going to create a generic communication site, and that's pretty simple to do. So we're going to go ahead, we'll call this my demo conference. And we're going to go ahead, it says, is that available? Yes, click finish. And that quick and easy, it's going to create a responsive design site. You got to love that, right? So it'll auto format. If I go ahead and start to change the size of this site and resize, notice it'll change everything from, you know, navigational elements to how it's all laid out. Boom, there's my nav. It's changing the whole layout to accommodate for phones, tablets, etc. But what we want to do is turn on something called Spaces. Now, when we have Spaces, when we click this drop down new, you'll notice it gives me a list of items. Spaces does not appear here. We have to enable it. To enable Spaces to create that virtual conference, we're going to navigate up to our little settings toolbar. I'm going to select that. I'm going to select Site Information, and then I'm going to come down here to View All Site Settings and click that. This is the view I'll get. Under Site Actions, we're going to select Manage Site Features. And then once we're here, we're going to scroll on down. Anybody who's been doing SharePoint, this should look very familiar. And as we scroll on down, you'll notice here is Spaces. Now, Spaces is in preview. It's not GA or generally available yet. That is coming, but you can easily turn it on to start using it, working with it. You could create an event today, or you can start to play with how to create these type of events. But we're simply going to come over here and click Activate. That's it. If I scroll back down, you'll note there it is. It's now active. And if we come on back to the home page of our website here, this demo conference, and select New, you'll notice Spaces now appears. So to create a space, it's simple. What I did was I created a number of spaces for each of those experiences I wanted. To create a space, we're going to click that. It's going to ask us for a space name, so we'll call this our main hall, right? We could give a description if we want. Then we have an option around these structures, and you'll notice there's disks. The one that's important, where the view is going to start from, is the bottom disk. But you'll notice they have different background looks and feels. This one's kind of cool, Geodome. It's kind of edgy. I don't know, we could use that. So let's select that one. And I'm not going to give it a description. We're going to click Create. It's going to build the environment, and there it is. Now you'll notice here's the edge of that disk that we saw. We are centered in that, the person that's here. It is a full 360 sphere that enables the user from their point of view to tool around, and it gave that look. There's also a background image that's been applied, but we don't have to select that, or we can change it. And the way that we do that is Space Design. We're going to select that, and now we get into our options for formatting what this is going to look like. There's that title. There's the area. We can come back and edit or add the description. If we didn't like this one with the geodome, we could easily change it. We could say we want an amphitheater, or a spiral, or arch, a plain terrace view. We're going to keep with our geode. The next piece is an image. Now, all of these images that they pre-populate here, these are 360 spherical images, which is why as we go around, we're getting that full view. In fact, if we go all the way, you'll see there's the sunlight. These are actual pictures taken with a 360 camera. So I have, for example, at home, I have a Ricoh Theta. It's old. It's been around a long time. It's not 4K. I wish I had a newer, nicer one, but I don't. But, you know, I can take images like this. So I could go into, for example, a conference room, a large speaking auditorium room, and I could snap a picture. And the beauty of that is, then if I wanted to, I could upload that custom 360 file if I wanted. But some of the other options we have, we could do an illustration. So here, this is a little, simpler. We have mountains, or I can do a desert view if desired. Besides that, what I chose was color. I kept it simple, right? So you can use the color spectrum here. You can enter the individual attributes. Then finally down below, there's a couple other options, and these are interesting. Number one, audio file for welcome. If you create an MP3 file, you can have, it's going to go ahead and prompt me now to pick one. I could have it loaded up in my OneDrive or to a site, right? If I click that, I go to the document. So if I added one to the document library, we could select that, or from a link, right? So I could paste that in here as well. But we can have a welcome message. We also have the option to select ambient sound. What is that? Well, let's take a look. Let's say we wanted wind. And turn that up. I don't know if you're hearing that, but I'm hearing wind. We have rain. Could be another. They have nature. And file, whoops, not audio file, that's a custom one. They also have music. And this is kind of like, you know, ooh, modern tech. I don't know if you hear that, but so you got music. And again, you can adjust the volume on those up or down to keep it, you know, just real subtle in the background or not. And once you've designed your room, you're now ready to begin to build it. The way we build it, they've kept it so simple, and it is so easy and opens such cool possibilities. So I'm going to come in here and select, see this plus arrow? When I click that, it opens up, there's that disk. It wants me to start placing stuff on it. I can pick something like a 360 image, for example, or a 360 video or object. So let's go ahead. What I'm going to do here is we're actually going to open our site in a new tab. And I'm going to go in here into the site contents because we're going to upload some stuff to use. So let's go ahead. I'll add in here in documents. Let's upload some content. We're going to do it by files. And what do I have in here? Oh, we've got, we'll add some image. Let's do the sponsor showcase. We'll add that. And I don't know what else we have here. We have a video. We can add a welcome video. We'll put that in there. So we've got a few elements in here that we can add. There we go. We've got all those in there. So I can come back here. Now, if I had a 360 image, we could select that and you could go through that. That's really cool. 360 video allows you to have, and I wish I had access to facilities right now to create one, but I could take, for example, my Theta camera, turn it on video record, and do a walkthrough and describe what I'm seeing and what's there. You think about training, virtual tours of a facility, and people can actually adjust their point of view in a full 360 sphere. One of the other things they have is 3D objects. So maybe I want to put a 3D object in, and we're going to pick where we want to place that. Go ahead. And it can allow me to choose if we have created those, like in CAD or other places. I can do it from OneDrive, from a website, from a link. They also have a 3D catalog. So we can pick from all kinds of stuff. So I deal with healthcare and life sciences. So let's say, oh, I don't know, let's pick medical. And they have some medical models. Maybe I want a heart, and it looks like, oh, this has the run thing, so it's an animated model. I'll go ahead and click Insert. And look at that. There's our heart. You can see it moving. If I click on it, I can edit that heart. So I can give some alternative text. I could set a podium, perhaps. We're not going to do that here. It'll look kind of funky. I can do actions. So the default is inspect. Inspect means when I click on it, it'll bring it forward to look at it closer. I could also add actions like link to another space, play audio, or link to another page or item to take you somewhere. We're just going to close that. Let's publish it to take a look at how this is going to appear for our users. And so here we have our three-dimensional space. There's that object. I click it. There we go. And I'm using my scroll button to go in closer, right? So we've got this pretty cool object. I can grab it and spin it to inspect it, to take a look. And just think of the possibilities here, right? So maybe it could be an educational model or something else. But it's fully interactive, and it allows me to do some pretty cool stuff with it. So we'll go ahead. Let's get out of there. Now, if I wanted to add some other additional items, we click at it again. We'll click our drop down. We also have here a file viewer. So let's go on back here to our document area. This time I want to grab, actually, let's create a library. So I'm going to come on up to Site Contents, and let's create our, we'll call it Demo Library, because this is kind of cool. We're going to create that, and we're going to add some documents here. I'm going to select Upload Files, and then instead of going to here, let's go to, oh, I don't know, our documents, and I'm just going to grab some stuff, ones that are not too big. Those are kind of big right there. An example of a nursing note, PDF, equipment ordering, PowerPoint, oh, I don't know, Flow Basics, PowerPoint, and search in Bing resources. There we go. So we got a couple of different docs. We're going to upload those. It's actually got to download them because I had them. There we go. Uploading 4 items to my library. Boom, there they are. So now if we come on back here, we could, for example, I want to embed an individual file. So let's go ahead and do that. And maybe in this case, let's grab the Flow Basics. So I could add a PowerPoint, for example, that people can actually see. Once it's grabbed there, I can click on it. I can click Edit. And again, I have some options here that I can do. More actions, save for later, open a new tab. It's all kind of cool. I can also do things like if I click, you'll notice here there's attributes. So what's the angle it's at? Distance from the user, the height it's at, the actual size or scale. I can also just grab and resize this thing, move it around, put it to where I want. So now when people come here, they have the ability to click on it. We can click Republish, and there we go. So now we've got this PowerPoint in our three-dimensional view. We can click it. I can open it in a new tab. Yes, new tab. And we're going to get this whole PowerPoint opened up here that we can then interact with, save, or go to later. We also had a similar option to do a complete document library. So let's go ahead and add that. We'll add that over here near it. It's now going to take a look at libraries. There's that demo library I created. We're going to select Open, and automatically notice what it's done. I'm going to click that. Let's kind of move it over here. Again, I could resize this thing, make it bigger looking, and we can click on some of the options. Do I want it monoscopic, stereoscopic, left to right? There we go. Include subfolders if we had them. I could have that show and have it navigate through those. And then again, if I click Republish, now I have this other element added to my space where I could click. I could go ahead, open that up in a bigger tab, save it, do what I want. But now I've got all those items available right in one view. Moving on, I want to add, I could add a video like we had added earlier. I can add text boxes. I'm going to grab, though, an image, and we're going to go ahead and place that here. And let's go ahead. We have, from our site, we've got some. So I could come in here. I could go to, I think I added something in documents. Yeah, sponsor showcase. I could open that. I don't know if you noticed, though, we did also have under images, stock images. So you could do a search on stock images. So maybe I could say, again, medical, it could be pharmaceutical, whatever. So I could add something in. Here we go. That looks kind of cool. Add that image here. Let's take this one, make it a little bigger. Whoops. Grab that, drag it. Beautiful. Now what we want to do, though, is add an action to it. And for this, I'm going to scroll on down. I'm going to delete inspect. It's just a picture. What I want to do is link it to another space so that, again, it becomes kind of like a portal venture to move off. So I'm going to come back to the home page of our site. Now remember, in mine I had spaces like main hall. I had ones like sponsor showcase. So we're going to do that here. Sponsor showcase. And I'm just going to pick a simple view for that. We'll go ahead and create it. Let's quick change the design. We're going to take a color and let's actually change that one. Let's make it, there we go. Start singing a song. Again, we could have that. Let's do the music this time. Make it low in the background. There we go. We're going to publish that. So now back in here in our edit view, I'm going to select edit for this sponsor showcase. I'm going to add an action. I'm going to say link to another space. And it's going to render out any additional spaces that are here. I simply click sponsor showcase, close, republish. Now when somebody comes here and clicks this, it's going to take them to this new space. And again, I can build this out to have things that I want, like a return to the main hall, other views, the music's playing in the background. I don't know if you can hear that or if my mic's doing noise canceling, but there it is. It's all there. So as you can see, it's very easy to build all this out. And then the beauty of it is once we're all done, if we wanted to, because this is all just SharePoint Online, we could go ahead and like here I have a Learning Pathways SharePoint site rendered here. I could add it, create an app, and drop it into Teams directly. So I have my virtual conference right within Teams itself. The last thing though that I did want to show, I'm going to come on back here and let's go over to Outlook. And I'm going to set up in here a meeting. We'll put it here just so I don't have with all my other stuff there. And we'll call this Breakout Session. So to create a link into a Teams meeting breakout session and have it open up naturally, you just create a meeting. I can invite attendees, so I'll just invite somebody as the main who's going to be my speaker, and I can give it the determinate amount of time. Maybe they got a 1 hour slot, and we're going to click make it a Teams meeting. I can add a whole description, blah 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 blah, and we're going to send that. Once we've done that and I click this, let's go ahead and open that. Right? I'm going to grab this link, copy link, and here you can see I already have a link. When I paste that, there's that link, but I want to add something. I want it to do like the demo we saw earlier, hands-free, not having to choose a bunch of options. I just want it to take it straight to that join piece. So I'm going to add this right here. It's this and web join equals true, right? So I'm going to go ahead, copy. Let's paste that right here, paste. And I'm going to copy this particular link. And let's come on back to get out of here, back to our meeting. Aha, where did I go? I went, from here, that's where I wanted to go. And I think I had it. Did I not before this? I did not. Okay. Well, we were here. So sponsor showcase. Let's come back to the home page. Site contents. I wanted to go into one last piece here. So you're going to see there's these spaces. There's that sponsor showcase. There's our main hall. It's this page with this particular web part. And I had added this additional. Now, let's go ahead. I'm going to click at it. We're going to do just a couple of things. I'm going to add some text so we can see what that's like. I'm going to put that here. And I'm going to call this Keynote. I could have it be whatever I want. I can adjust the text size, right? Let's go ahead, close that. Then I can readjust this to where I'd like it. Nice, and there you can see it's going to kind of highlight that. Again, this object here I can make bigger. So now I probably want to reframe that. There we go. So now I've got this thing for the Keynote. What I need to do though is have it take you in. Our Keynote, we're just going to use a Teams meeting. It could be a Yammer live event, anything with a link, but we're going to go ahead, click. Remember, I added that one to bring us straight in. So for the trigger event, I'm going to delete inspect. That's important. Delete it. Then I'm going to say link to a page or item from a link, and I'm going to paste that link in. It says this isn't an item from your org. That's okay. Just ignore that. I'm going to select that, open. I'm going to publish. Now I have, here is that, think of it as a portal to that particular piece. It says this will open in a new tab. I'm going to click. I'm going hands-free. It's going to auto take me to the point of joining. There I am, ready to enter. I didn't have to click. Do you want it in the client, in the web, anonymous, blah, 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 any of that? It just brings me here and I am done. So that's it. I mean, it's easy peasy, right? You can create a virtual conference using SharePoint. Activate SharePoint Spaces. Start to set them up, link them to each other. You can use images to create kind of the portal through to the other spaces that you create to house things. You can set up images as placeholders. I actually used PowerPoint to do mine. I just did a blank deck, and it gives you for title and subtitle. Put something in. I let it do the auto-generate design ideas, pick stuff from that, and saved as a PNG image file, right? And upload those. So easy. So you can go ahead, create those linked views, add other objects, documents, document libraries, audio, video files, 360-degree spherical views of content. It's all there for you to go ahead to leverage to build a very rich, immersive design for your virtual attendees. So think about it, take a look at it. If you have thoughts, questions, ideas, post them on the blog post underneath. There's questions. Happy to address them and answer, take this further if need be. I'm also including links on this post. You'll find them below in the full blog post at aka.ms/HLS-blog. That's aka.ms/HLS-blog. So there'll be links for you to go through and get started with all of this. If you have other questions or you just want to connect with me professionally, you can always find me on my LinkedIn account. That's the best way to get a hold of me, at Mike Giannotti. So you can see at www.linkedin.com/in/Mike Giannotti, one word. You can find me on Twitter at twitter.com/Giannotti, or I have a Facebook page at facebook.com/mgiannotti. Hope you found this video useful, fun, entertaining, and helps you get started using SharePoint Spaces today. Let your imagination flow, be it they virtual tours, be it virtual conferences, just different ways of getting immersed and interacting. It's an awesome thing. With that, this is Mike Giannotti bidding you have a great day. Take care, and as always, ciao.